Stream is up in 5, 4, 3, 2. And we're up. We're live. I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Are We Allowed to Question That? If you want to contact the show, the number is 234-902-1912. Or you can email us at omallysadventure@yahoo.com. Real quick before we get started, I do want to remind everybody to keep Florida in your thoughts and prayers because they are getting a double hammer today. They got, at one point today, I was listening to a weather live stream and they had 12 active tornado warnings at one time. So, yeah, and the hurricane hasn't made landfall yet. So, just something to think about before we get started this evening. So this evening, we're going to question funding. And are we actually allowed to question how the government funds different things? I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to play it in its entirety, so it's not that long. I believe it's just under 4 minutes. But I want you to watch it, and then we will open up our dialogue. Can we roll that clip, please?
On this issue of funding, the administration has money to send to Lebanon without Congress coming back. But Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right?
Here's what I'm going to be very clear about. The president and the vice president has had a robust whole of government response to this. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I said it at the top, more than $200 million that we have directly put towards survivors here for disaster help. And that's because of this president's commitment to make sure that we are there for communities that are impacted. We take this very seriously again. We take this very seriously. And before the hurricane hit, we pre-positioned more than 1,500 federal folks on the ground to help. And so we have made sure that every state has gotten their storm requested emergency declaration. They requested it, and we made sure they received it. We've taken this very seriously. More than $200 million that we have provided to the impacted areas. But instead, people want to do disinformation, misinformation, which is dangerous, because then when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help that they need. That is there for them. That's our focus here.
But President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now, without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it. That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir. What you do? Yes, it's misinformation.
Is there money to send to Lebanon right now?
I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area, and I just shared with you that people are deciding not to. People are deciding not to.
Wait. To Congress that there's not enough money to help people in North
Carolina. We're talking about the SBA disaster loan.
That's money for people in North Carolina.
And that's important, and people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new. Congress comes together, they provide money, millions of dollars, for disaster relief. We're asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
From a letter that President Biden sent to Johnson, McConnell, Schumer, and Jeffries. The president's letter is not misinformation. Would you agree?
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation. There is money that we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there.
That you don't like misinformation.
I actually said we have the money available to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and also Hurricane Milton. Now there's going to be a shortfall, right? Because we don't know how bad Hurricane Milton is going to be. And so we're going to need additional funding. We're going to need additional funding.
That's exactly what I just asked about. And you said it was
No.
misinformation.
What
Yes.
you're asking me is why Congress needs to come back and do their job. That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job and provide extra assistance, extra funding to disaster relief fund. That's what Congress needs to do, and we're going to continue to urge that. You may not want that, but that's okay. That's what this president wants, and that's what the vice president wants. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, so the first thing I want to key in on there is she made it clear that that is what the current president wants and the vice president, who happens to be running for president this election cycle. We get used to hearing different types of numbers, millions, billions, whatnot. And the fact that he questioned it, and I'm not a big fan of Fox. I got to be clear. uh, they well, any of the legacy media right now is sort of a dumpster fire at best. But he was asking about Congress's role, about funding a proxy war versus funding American citizens with disaster relief. And I think she tried to do an end around and make it sound like that was a poor line of questioning, maybe? I don't know. It seemed very direct, and for her to call it misinformation or disinformation or however she wanted to word it, I'm gonna show you some numbers that she used and are on the government's watchdog blog website. It's the government's website, okay? So let me bring this over here. Okay. Now this is funding for the Ukraine, okay? As of April, Congress has appropriated more than $174 billion to assist the Ukraine, okay? Now, she said 200 million for the people that were affected by the hurricane. So I'm going to make that a bigger number. I'm going to say that it was 300 million. So if you would want to know what percentage of $174 billion that 300 million is, it's 0.17%. You can use any calculator you want. You can run those numbers backwards, forwards, whatnot, and they work out that way. So my question would also be a follow-up to his. At what point does the current administration, and everybody needs to think the current administration, when are they going to start putting Americans first? Because I get it. There are wars, there's conflicts, whatnot. And one of the things that makes America the greatest country on the planet is our generosity. However, there are people in Tennessee and North Carolina that would love to see that generosity. That's what I have for you, and I would love to know your thoughts, because everything here is an open conversation. Leave something in the comments. I'm back from vacation. We're going to continue doing this, I believe, even after the election cycle. I think this is a good topic. In general, questioning things, just taking a set of numbers and looking at them. Now, is there more going to those states? Absolutely. The number of volunteers and people outside of government that are helping out down there it'd blow your mind. But those people should be able to depend on their government. And right now, it has the appearance that that's not the case. That's my thoughts. I want to know yours. Um, I do not have a quote for the day. I am completely unprepared. I was um, on vacation last week and got sidetracked. We had some things going on. However, I want to throw one more thing out before we leave, and that is this. Uh, the numbers that I gave you were specific to the Ukraine. But wait, there's more. We've spent 26 billion in support of the efforts uh, with Israel fighting Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran. So again, those are very big numbers, and I'd like to know your thoughts. I think this topic specifically is good. Um, please be civil. I mean, if you have something to say, please leave it. Um, I'm having problems getting into that email account, but if you text that number or if you leave a comment below, I do try to read all of the comments. Um, and if you post one, don't pull it down. Don't do that. That's don't waste your time typing it to begin with. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anywho, that, my friends, is a wrap. We will be here next Wednesday um, for another episode. If there's something that you would like to see discussed, drop that in the comments below as well. Until next time, stay sharp, keep a tight shot, group, and rock on. Peace.